Perfect. Hey everybody, it's a beautiful crisp fall afternoon in October. I'm in the mood to make chicken marsala. Thanks for tuning into this episode. We're going to get started. All right folks, we're going to be setting up our mise en place for all the different stages. Right now we're going to set up the dredging flour, salt. You can be liberal with the seasoning because not all of it's going to stick, and you want to make sure the flavors shine through in the flour. So far it's sea salt, pepper. I'm doing onion, granulated onion, and then granulated garlic. Now just mix it up. Not only are we going to use this to lock in and seal the juices when we saute the chicken, we're going to take a little bit of this to thicken our sauce when we get to that stage as well. So the dredging flour is done. This one is next for the marsala dish itself. Crush the garlic. Doesn't matter what shape they're in, because what you're going to do, you're going to smash them again. That's the garlic. Okay, that's the mise en place for the chicken marsala. Going to bring that over to my sauté side. Mushrooms, they're already sliced. You can get whole mushrooms at the store, but these had a good price to them and they look fresh. Crimini, these are the oysters, and it's supposed to be, I believe, shiitake, but I don't see. There we go, shiitake. And I'm going to add some white domestic mushrooms. I'm probably, you can see the size difference. I'm probably going to use half of this. And then I'm going to keep these just like they are. Normally I would slice them about the same, a little thinner maybe, but all in all it's good. Just use it from the store. So this is going to go over next to my saute pan as well. All right, next we're going to take our chicken and turn them into cutlets and get them to the same thickness and size. I'm going to show you a little trick that I used to do in the restaurants, just so you weren't splattering a lot of chicken all over the place. When people know when you tenderize the chicken, sometimes it gets a little aggressive and pieces start to fly. So I take a piece of plastic wrap, rip off a big long section, fold it in half, fold it in half again, and just make it bigger, a little bit bigger than the chicken piece. So what we're going to do, we're going to take our chicken breast. Now something, you can see how fat this is and how skinny this is on this side. So we're going to try and make it so that everything is uniform and consistent in thickness so that it will cook the same. So now you see I reduced the thickness a little bit, but that's still thin on that side. That's still thick here and real thin here. So this, I don't like using the really aggressive part of the hammer, the tenderizer, on the chicken with the plastic because it'll break the plastic apart. I either use the flat side or the small side. So I'm going to go with this one. And you just take it. And you go till you think it's the appropriate thickness. And that plastic stays whole. Plastic stays whole. You have to watch it depending on your tenderizer. Now you see, that's a perfectly flat cutlet. And it's done. So we're going to do a few more pieces like that, and then we're going to get to cooking. Okay, what we're going to do here is we're going to dredge the chicken breasts, which are now turned into cutlets, for the marsala. So basically what you want to do is you want to get it covered with the seasoned flour and shake off the excess. And what this is going to do, it is going to seal in and lock all the natural juices in the chicken breast so it doesn't escape. And it's going to give it a nice golden, crunchy kind of texture to it. High heat, plenty of oil, which is the presentation side. And we're going to keep those principles in mind because it all matters for the end result. And that's the difference in a restaurant. See, to me, for this breast, this is the inside of the breast. This is the skin side. I'm going to put this side down first because it's cleanest, it's nicest. When it lays flat on the pan, the whole thing should get a nice golden sear. And then when you flip it over, that's going to be on the plate. When you put it back, you're going to see that it's beautiful. Doesn't matter what this looks like. As long as it's thoroughly cooked, doesn't matter. Now there's going to be a high heat. Going to take butter, but we're also going to take a little bit of olive oil, which is going to increase our temperature for our heat, so we're not going to burn the butter. All right, this is where I'm going to put the chicken on after we get our presentation side. So what's going to happen, this is, you are going to learn how to saute like they do in the restaurant. That's why we went through and got our mise en place done. Now I'm waiting for the foam to subside, which is going to tell me a couple things. The temperature is coming up. It's to the temperature, and I'm waiting for it to see that it's starting to turn into a nutty kind of look to it. That's the skin side is here. I'm going to lay it in. Skin side, inside. I'm going to turn it. Now it doesn't matter that they're a couple seconds apart. You just remember which one in first. They're all the same thickness. And you can see the flour starting to go golden and dark, which is not a big deal. We're going to let it do its thing. I want to turn on my fan, but I know that's kind of noisy, so I'll do one. Hopefully that won't be too loud. Sorry if it goes too crazy. I'm going to turn the heat down just a little bit. I'm going to let you see it. Still high. It's medium high. I can hear the juice starting to come out of the chicken, so I'm going to flip it. And you got your golden color to that. Now, I'm making this for 4 people, and I have a bunch of cutlets that I'm going to be cooking. Now, the reason I'm taking these off, they are not cooked all the way through, but all the juices are seared and locked in. So now, this one pan, I'm going to make enough sauce for 4 people. So we're going to put all the breasts, the cutlets on the tray. And that doesn't have a little bit of oil, so I'm bringing the oil around. Move that out of the way. Drop those pieces in. So now I have 1 more, maybe 2 more batches to cook. Nope, I got 2 nice pieces. So what I'm going to do after I sear this one, I can see that the oil is fried up, soaked into the flour. I'm going to add a little bit more to the pan, and then I'm going to do the last 2 cutlets. I'm going to take the cutlets off like you see here, and then I'm going to build the sauce so the sauce can cook. When the sauce is done, and when you use flour, you need to cook it about 25 minutes to a half an hour. Always longer is better, but you can get away with, if you don't use a lot of flour, about 25 minutes to cook the starchiness out to make the sauce velvety smooth. Yeah, I'm just going to take that off. Now you can see how that oil is almost gone now. It's okay. I don't like adding oil while there's food in there. Reason being, because it'll drop the temperature of the pan. And I don't want to change the consistency or the texture of the protein that I'm cooking. So I will add more oil when there's nothing in the pan. And now, a little bit more of olive oil. Small amount of butter. And all that stuff that's stuck to the bottom of the pan, that's going to help build the sauce. Now you can see that it's hot. It's ready to go. It stopped foaming. This is going to be a little tight here, but I think I can do it. The pan is so hot and the juices are searing in. I definitely don't have to worry about sweating on this one. I'm just bringing the oil so that it's all the way around, trying not to move the breast. You don't want to move it immediately. You need a few seconds to 25 seconds, depending on the temperature of the pan, for that flour and the chicken to sear tight. So as soon as I flip these, the small piece is almost cooked. Okay. So when my sauce is cooking, I'm going to take the chicken cutlets. I'm going to put them into a 350, 375 degree oven, probably 10 minutes. All right, this is going to go fast. I'm going to take the small piece out. Now, see all the pieces? I'm not worried about it. That is about I don't know, half a tablespoon of oil, which is going to be more than enough. So now I'm going to take my garlic, same thing. I want my garlic to brown. Now you're going to start to move it around in the pan. You're using your nose. You're using your eyes. It smells good. I can start to smell the garlic starting to brown. So from here, go ahead and add your shallot. You know, eyesight and your nose are your two best, I don't know, things you would use. You can already see the stuff starting to come off the bottom of the pan. Your eyesight and your nose are what you need to be able to make it good. You can't just rely on your eyes. Your nose is just as important. So now I saw it was starting to dry, and I don't want to brown it. I was smelling that the garlic was actually starting to go beyond a roasty, nutty smell of the garlic, and it's starting to, I could actually smell a little piece, couple pieces of it starting to get too dark. So that's why I expedited. I put the mushrooms in the pan, and that drops the temperature of the pan. And like I said, I know I'm jumping back and forth, but I'm trying to cover a lot of it. So now I used just about half. So now just keep it moving. You want to saute your mushrooms. And if you noticed, there's no more oil in the bottom of that pan. But it's sticking, and I no longer smell the burning sensation of the garlic. So everything is working how I want it to. Now what's going to happen in another minute, and see, I'm trying to scrape the bottom too, keep it going. Not because I'm worried about the bottom being, I'm going to switch over to a spoon now. Not because I'm worried about the bottom. And just keep it moving. Now at this point, I'm going to turn down the heat a little bit because I'm going to give the mushrooms a time to saute. And now you can see they went from really raw, and you can start to see the change in a lot of different. This one is still pretty raw, but this one is cooked, and a bunch of them are starting to turn. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to be getting ready to deglaze the pan with the marsala. But what I want to do now, now there's oil still in here. You don't have to add any more oil for the roux. But at this point, you can see that the mushrooms are starting to look wet. And that's the juices releasing from the mushroom. So now I'm going to take our flour, just a little dusting, just a little dusting. So now I'm going to move it around. Get everything coated with that flour, and you don't want to drop it in a clump. because when you actually add the Marsala wine, if you have a clump and you don't have it spread throughout everything, if you do this method, you can actually make a dumpling. And you'll have little starchy balls and pockets and of just stuff that you don't want. So now it's been about 2 minutes, and you see how the mushrooms are already starting to breaking apart. You see how everything is starting to stick. It has that nice golden color to it. It's dark. So now at this point, this is where I'm going to add the Marsala wine. And you're going to see everything on that pan. Once that Marsala starts to boil after a minute, everything is going to turn right into the sauce, disappear, and it's going to be a nice, lovely sauce. From there, I'm going to add my chicken stock to it and make my sauce. I'm going to turn the flame back up. And that was 4 people. That was probably, I'm looking at the bottle, 5 to 6 ounces of Marsala wine. So if you had the high heat, you would actually get the flame. I wasn't thinking that. I should have thought of it, but now you're just going to cook the Marsala wine. You're going to cook the alcohol out of it, but you will have the flavor. Smells really good. That's nice. That's nice Marsala. So now you can see it's actually kind of thick, but you see the nice color. Now if I pull it away, that dark spot earlier is all incorporated into the sauce. That's all your flavor. So I'm trying to do the same thing for the spoon. So that's almost gone as well. So this Marsala, I live in Pennsylvania, so I have to go to a state store, but this is what we're using today. It's a dry Marsala. Looks, smells pretty good. I think it's going to taste even better. So now it's back up to a boil. You can see how it's thick. There's no flour clumps. It's just bits of garlic, shallot, and everything else along that line. So now I'm going to find my chicken stock. And I'm going to add my homemade chicken stock to it. That's about 2 cups. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to let this boil, simmer, and reduce. I'm going to let it reduce to half. So that was almost, with the Marsala in there, 2 cups of liquid. And when you reduce it, you can see how liquidy it is now. All those flavors are going to intensify. Same with the chicken stock. So whatever your chicken stock flavor was, it's going to be even more pronounced. So now I'm just going to scrape the sides down. So I want all of that inside of the Marsala sauce. You always want to taste after you put in your stock. You don't want to worry if it's not perfectly flavored at this point, because you are going to reduce it and all those flavors are going to intensify. So don't add a bunch of salt at this point if you are afraid that it's bland. Let it reduce before you do your final seasoning. That's going to be really, really good. I'm going to say it's going to be about 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Yeah, 10 minutes. When this marsala sauce reduces down to half, that's when we're going to put our chicken into the oven. Okay, this time I'm going to take the chicken breasts, put them in the oven to finish off, and then I'm going to lay them in the sauce to get their final coating. And when I do that, I'm going to do that with a little pat of butter. Butter at the end in the sauce gives it a little rich and glossy finish. I'm just going to check. You can see the original level of the sauce that was right there when I poured the stock in. And I'm probably down to about half right now. And you can see the thickness of the sauce is light. It's almost there. You can see a little bit of the line. That's one of the tests you do when you're making a sauce. It wants to just be able to coat the back of the spoon without dripping down over itself like water once you wipe part of it away. I know it might be hard to see with the camera, but it's almost there. And there's a little bit of that starch from the chicken that's going to go into this, and that's going to tighten it up the rest of the way as well. All right. You can see the sauce goes away quick. And I'm going to turn the heat down to medium. And let it finish the rest of the way. Now, coat it with the spoon. Now you can see, after adding the chicken, hopefully you can see, let me do that again one more time. Do it down here. You can see the line is holding up. So this sauce is ready. Look at that. I'm going to add butter. Oh yeah. Winner, winner. What kind of dinner? That's about a tablespoon and a half. Now remember, you're dividing that between 4 people. All right. We're going to shut it off. And I'm going to set up so that I can make my thumbnail. Well, I just want to thank you again for tuning in to another episode. If you had some questions, I answered it. If I left you with more questions than answers, please comment below and we will try and get it resolved. If you don't mind, please like and subscribe. If there's something you want to see done, if I know how to do it, I'd be more than glad to try and get an attempt at something. Even if I haven't made it before, I'm always up for trying something new and exciting. All right. Chicken Marsala. If you try it out, let me know. At the end of this video, there's going to be a recipe card. Give or take-ish kind of card. All right. Have a great night. See you on the next episode. Thank you very much.